For me first.
There's always something to make you look around and say, hey, you know what? I live in a pretty great country. President Trump is calm, on point, on his game. And unlike the last guy, he is competent and coherent.
Come on, man.
We're not bending the knee anymore. We're here to take a stand for God and country.
This is the Steve Gruber Show.
All right. Yes, it is. Glad to have you on board. We've got a lot happening here today on a beautiful Friday. Thank you for popping in on us. Yeah, thank you for that. All right. So let's get into the big three today. We have a lot to talk about today, and something that just popped up on my radar we're going to discuss. But first, here are the big three for a free-for-all Friday. Number one, President Trump may be on his way to Egypt for the official signing of the first part of the peace deal for Gaza, a deal he pushed through with steady persistence, much to the chagrin of his detractors. Number two, Letitia James got a big dose of karma on Thursday when a Virginia grand jury returned felony indictments against her for mortgage fraud. New York AG is infamous for her legal pursuit of President Trump. Well, here we are. And number three, it is free speech, free for all Friday, your chance to weigh in on the biggest stories of the day. And you can connect using the Patriot Mobile Common Sense hotline, 877-310-9966. No shortage of things to discuss today, including Gaza, Letitia James, the battle to save America's cities from the destructive policies of the left, and the list goes on. The Patriot Mobile Common Sense hotline, 877-310-9966. Open for business. Only a couple of rules. First, keep it clean. Don't call me about other shows and hosts. That's not why we're here. And if you've been on the last month, please wait and make sure we hear from new voices. All right? Okay, here's where we're going to start today. I'm not going to use that soundbite, Anthony. I've got the White House schedule for today. If you didn't hear, Donald Trump is going to Walter Reed National Medical Center today. Open press, it says. That's when he departs, 10 a.m. At 11 a.m., the First Lady is making an announcement. We don't know what it's about. It's happening in the White House Grand Foyer for pre-credentialed media. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the president returns to the White House from Walter Reed Medical Center. He was supposed to go see veterans and so forth, but we're told he's having his annual physical. The problem with that, he had his annual physical on the 11th of April. I'm a bit concerned here. I'm not going to lie to you. Then the president is going to make an announcement in the Oval Office with the White House press pool. It concerns me the vagary, the quietness of this. I'm concerned that we could have a situation and we're just going to see what's up. President going to Walter Reed. He's already had his annual physical, like I said, that happened the 11th of April. Why would they tell us he's having an annual physical or he's going to see the doctors for a checkup? All right, we'll find out about that. Let's get to you. 877-310-9966. 877-310-9966. I'm not trying to frighten you. I'm trying to make you aware of the latest information as I have it. We start with Steve in Idaho today. Steve, how are you today?
Hey, I'm real good, Steve. You got a great show, and thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Something that's been just heavy on my mind. You know, this thing that the bar has been lowered for the Nobel Peace Prize so low that I think we ought to have something else, and I think we ought to make sure our president gets it. I don't know. I'm almost to the point where they could go pound sand with that thing. Just a thought. Yeah, he's great. He's got our hearts and our minds, and we want the best for him. Look what he is doing. Hell, he could cure cancer, and they wouldn't give it to him. So why? Let's come up with something on our own. How about it?
Yeah. By the way, I'm glad you brought that up. A great call, Steve. Thank you for making the call. The Nobel Peace Prize was announced early this morning. And no, Donald Trump did not win the Nobel Peace Prize, even though he stopped war after war after war. It was given to, and I'm not saying this woman isn't deserving of what she has received. Her name, let me see here, is Maria Corina Machado, a Venezuelan opposition leader described as a brave and committed champion of peace. Receiving the Nobel Peace Prize for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and for her struggle to achieve just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy. Of course, that has not happened. But apparently this woman you've never heard of, and look, again, I'm not discrediting what she's done. Maybe she's great. Donald Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, period. Steve, thank you for the phone call from Idaho. It's been a long night for me, so I didn't get that. I knew it was coming out. Let's go to Tom. He's in Michigan, my home state. Tom, how are you?
Tom's gone. Go to Todd in Indiana.
All right, Tom left us. Tom, don't do that again. Todd is in Indiana. Todd, how are you today?
I'm fine, Steve. Thanks for taking the call. Okay, I've got a couple of things real quick. One, I have a plan for stopping all these stupid government shutdowns. We need to impose a fine on every member of Congress and the Senate of, I don't know, a couple $1,000s a day. They like money too well to ever do that again. After all, they're not doing their job. That's why we got in this situation. So, they need to be fined for not doing their job. But then I have a question. Can the president sign an executive order that would create a ballot to be out in the next general election to where people can actually vote on things to deal with Congress, like term limits and their benefits and things like that? Can that be possible?
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be something? Yeah. We need to clean up Washington. We
give
say
the
it.
Power back to the people.
Yeah, exactly. We say this every election cycle, Todd. What are we going to do? How do we return power to the people? How do we get this thing back on track to be the constitutional republic we're supposed to be? And somehow, we get close. I applaud a lot of the work that Donald Trump does. Much of it. I mean, look, he's working hard to try to bring things back to where they should be. Can he get all the way there? Boy, it's a tough fight, isn't it? Tough fight. Great call, Todd.
Yeah.
Great question. Really appreciate you being here. Let's go to Sandy in Arizona. How are you, Sandy?
Hello.
Hello, how are you? You're on the
Hi,
air.
I'm Sandy, and I'm in Yuma, Arizona. And
Sandy, here's what you got to do. Sandy, you got to turn your TV off. I should tell these people, these in charge. Turn your TV off. You got to talk to me, or I'm going to have to go to the next caller.
I turned it down.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi. I was thinking about this morning.
All right, say it. Put her on hold. Okay, put her on hold. It's distracting. It's hard, I understand, when you start hearing other noises and distracting. So here's one other rule going forward. I'm not mad at Sandy. The other rule is simply this. You have to turn your phone down before we get to you. So let's try Paul in Rhode Island. Sandy, we'll get back to you. Paul, how are you?
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I'm good, sir.
I just want to touch on all this, these Islamic Muslim people that are all over the country, New York, Michigan, other places. Can there be something done about that?
Well, what do you mean done about? I don't know. Done about?
Well,
what does that mean?
It's like they're taking over. They're called to prayer and they're
that sort of thing. Now there's a
They're
legitimate question. Sharia law is not compatible with the United States Constitution. It's not. We're guaranteed a Republican form of government. That does not include Sharia law. The calls to prayer that start at 5:30 in the morning, I believe that violates every city ordinance in America. There are steps that need to be taken to, make sure that we don't get bullied. Bullied, all right? I'll be back on a Free for All Friday. I will give one caveat to Donald Trump not winning the Nobel Peace Prize. The deadline for nominations was the 31st of January. So all of these wars that he's intervened in, most recently Gaza, of course, he's likely going to fly to Egypt after we find out what today's cryptic announcements are about. Again, he's going to Walter Reed Medical Center today. Kind of an unexpected visit, I think. The First Lady makes an announcement at 11 a.m. The President returns to the White House at 3, 5 hours later. He makes an announcement at 5. And they're not saying why. So we're going to figure that out. We're going to stay with Free for All Friday, 877-310-9966. Patriot Mobile, America's only Christian conservative wireless network, powering the Patriot Mobile Common Sense Hotline. Stella is in Georgia. Stella, how are you today?
Hi, Steve. This is Stella down here in Georgia. It's so good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking my call this morning. I wanted to say, as a World War II veteran daughter and a veteran myself, I think the whole show is awesome. We thank you so much. My statement today is I just feel that all these Palestinian lovers who love all of what's going on, I really think they need to go over there. Just ship them all over there and let them see what it's all really truly about. Because what you've got right now is a bunch of people who are enjoying the American life and the American way, but they're standing in the street screaming that how great this Sharia law is. They need to go and live it and really know about it. That's my personal opinion.
I think you're spot on. Go check it out. You know what? It really, it's quite something, isn't it? Would you see the people with the rainbow-colored hair and all the tattoos and whatever, piercings, whatever they've got? And I don't care. It doesn't matter. But when they're clearly transgender or whatever they think they are, and I'm transgender and I'm supporting Palestine and I'm supporting Islam, go check it out. See how much they support you. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Anyhow, great call, Stella. I appreciate it. Kenny is in North Carolina. Kenny, good morning.
Good morning, Steve. I just was wondering if you'd had any updates lately on the North Canadian United States border crossings. Is that still pretty prevalent, or...
You know, it's a good question, Kenny. I haven't heard much about that recently. Now, I live in Michigan, as you know, so we have a very long border with Canada. That's the bad news. The good news is this. For the most part, in order for them to get here, they have to swim. So we've got that going for us. You want to swim across Lake Huron? Knock yourself out. Lake Erie, it's shallow, it's shorter, long swim. Good luck with that. We have to look at New York, Montana, different places. I'm going to look into that. That's a great question, Kenny.
Do that for me,
know.
would you? I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll check in on it. Thank you for checking in from the Tar Heel State. Thank you, sir. Here in Michigan, defending ourselves from the Ontario invasion that's possible at any moment is Jason. Jason, good morning.
Steve, good morning. Love the show and
you.
Appreciate all you do. My question is to you is how do you talk to a liberal? It's like talking to a wall. And the uncommon sense that they have with, let's say, immigration and the massive government spending, trillions. I mean, I can't get my mind around that number, you know?
Well, the number I used to think, and it's a great question, Jason. I used to read about the debt a lot. I don't pay much attention to it anymore because it's at a point that if it blows up, well, then it blows up. Look, I thought $24 trillion was the point of no return when it comes to national debt.
Right.
I thought if we went past that number, because there were a lot of economists and people back at that time who said if you exceed that, it's a point where you can't ever get back. I don't know if we can get back. But I know this, if we have a debt crisis like Greece or Portugal, nobody's bailing out the United States. And in fact, it would bring the entire world into a global recession or depression, potentially.
I agree.
I don't know what you do about it. Look. We can complain. We're paying $1.2 trillion, last number I heard here a couple of days ago, on interest alone. On interest alone, $1.2 trillion because where the interest rates are and so forth. It's not going to get any better. Massive amounts of money. And then, of course, you've got $15 to $18 trillion, somewhere in that range, that we owe to ourselves internally, department to department. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? I don't know how you ever get it under control. And I don't think you can grow your way out of it. But what I was going to say is Republicans are just as guilty, Jason, a good part of the time. They stand right there. They're part and parcel to it again. Here we are. Every election cycle, we got to control debt. And what do? Nothing. That's a great call, Jason. I appreciate it. Morgana, Tennessee. How are you today?
Hello, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah. Welcome to the program. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just wanted to talk about something that seems to have dropped off the radar, and that is the occupation of a lot of our farmlands by foreign entities that don't have our best interests in mind. I'm a combat veteran. I did 2 tours in Iraq in 2005 and 2006, and I'm very patriotic. I love my country, and I just want us to have more control over what's going on in our own land, and I'm really concerned about it.
I can understand. Look, it's a great question. Look, I live here in Michigan. Tremendous amount of farmland here. You drive through Indiana, Iowa, Illinois, all these great states. Of the breadbasket of the world, China has a few 100,000 acres. You hear a lot about that. But other countries have owned American land for years, for decades. I was talking to a farmer here in Michigan here recently who said he's been turning a piece of ground owned by a family from Belgium. They've owned it for like 80 years. Other countries don't let foreigners own their ground. For example, you cannot own land in Mexico. You can lease it for 99 years. Same thing in New Zealand. You can lease land for 99 years, but you can't own it. Why do we allow foreigners to own our land? That's a great question. It's something that should change. Of course, if the Republicans put out a common sense plan to say you can't have foreign ownership of farmland, maybe you can own a house or a condo, but you can't own farmland, it would get shot down by the Democrats 100% of the time. Good to see you all this morning. The Patriot Mobile Common Sense Hotline, 877-310-9966. Oh, by the way, Patriot Mobile is offering a free first month of service for you if you sign up using the promo code Gruber. PatriotMobile.com, promo code Gruber. You get a free month of service, and you get to talk to people here in the United States. That's where their service center is, man. Check it out. Support these people, please. All right, back to it now. I'm really concerned about this announcement from Melania Trump coming at, 11 o'clock this morning. The president giving an announcement at 5 o'clock. He returns to the White House after spending 4 or 5 hours at Walter Reed Medical Center. It concerns me. I'm not going to lie. All right, Sandy is back. We got this sorted out, I think. Sandy, welcome to the program.
Hi.
How you doing, Sandy? What's on your mind?
Well, you got me concerned, too, about that announcement from Melania and also from President Trump. And that brings me to what I'm concerned about. This trip to the Middle East, it's a very important trip. But so many people hate President Trump. I'm concerned for his safety. And I don't know that it should be for him to go over there. How do you feel?
You know what, Sandy? It's the same exact thing I thought. Egypt is a place, look, they've probably got pretty good security. I don't think that any country would want to put an American president in harm's way, and of course it wouldn't be intentional. At least I don't think so. I wouldn't want to think so. How about that? But I had the same gut feeling that you had. Man, that's not maybe the best trip to take. Let that settle out. You've got a lot of people in the Muslim world not impressed with the end of the war in Gaza. Not impressed with President Trump's support for Israel. Best decision? I don't know. Sandy, thank you for getting through. Thank you for standing by and working with us on that. Bruno is in Montana, my former home state of Montana. Bruno, how are you?
Good morning, Steve. I'm excellent. I'm calling in regards to the Marine Corps birthday that's coming up. I'm kind of curious. I have 4 Marines in my family and 3 soldiers. Dad was World War II machine gunner with his brothers. But I appreciate you guys are going to do this with the Marine Corps for Saturday, tomorrow, and the next Saturday. But why are we doing it instead of on my birthday, November 10th, the Marine Corps birthday?
Well, you know, it's clearly an oversight, Bruno. I'm going to have to talk to the people in management. I mean, how could we screw that one up? Hey, by the way, where are you in Montana?
I hung up.
Oh, we lost you. That's too bad. I want to know where he was. Bruno's birthday. I apologize. Yeah, it's a week from Saturday, I believe. The Marine Corps, 250 years here in America. I'll be right back. I have a bit of a special announcement here for you. All right. Ivy's going to be joining me here in just a few minutes. Surprise appearance, early Ivy, which I know brings joy to your hearts. That's the thing. And thing two is this. I'm a little not as sharp as I normally should be today. We had an issue with our northern studio. So in the middle of the night last night, I made the executive decision to drive through the night 3 hours back to the main studio because you need Free for All Friday, and I was not going to let you down. And so here we are, but I'm sleep deprived to say the least. Anthony, he said he had a question for you. Anthony, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I was wondering why. Maybe you know why is the stock market doing so well with the government shut down?
Well, here's the thing: the stock market is great for investors, but it's not a good indicator of other things oftentimes. And what I mean by that is this: during the Great Depression, when 25% of the people were unemployed, and there was a lot of problems, and people were going broke, and so the stock market did really well many times during the Great Depression.
Well, and that's what I've seen. I've seen a lot of people saying the stock market is doing better because, like, in correlation with the government shutting down.
Huh.
And maybe that's speculative, but
well,
I'm just curious.
The stock market often does better in strange times. There's truth to that. I can't exactly tell you why, but there is truth to that. So it's a great question, Anthony. By the way, the stock market is doing well. Gold, where is gold today? Let's see, gold, where are you? Just a real quick question. Oh, it's back down below 4,000. So it has come back down. It got corrected itself. It's at 39.98. Probably back over 4,000. Let's go back to the phone lines. The Patriot Mobile Common Sense Hotline. Mary in the great state of Ohio. Mary, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Steve?
Lovely. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm 73 years old, and when I was 65, my doctor put me on a semi-annual physical schedule. And also, I don't remember who I was listening to last night, but Trump was on. And he happened to be talking about his visit today. He was talking about the cognitive part, kind of, laughing about it.
Right.
And he mentioned that it was easy in the beginning, but it's harder as you get in the middle. So I don't think we have anything to worry about.
Well, I hope you're right. I do, Marianne. I appreciate that vote of confidence. Go ahead.
Yeah. And also, this is the 10th, and his last physical was April 11th. So it's really only one day short of the semi-annual.
Well, there you go. Maybe that's it. But the other part is, what are the announcements? Melania Trump at 11?
Oh, that
Right.
I'm a little concerned about that, too.
Cryptic. Melania Trump giving an announcement, Donald Trump giving an announcement. Again, they're not saying anything about what it is, not saying it's an executive order, not saying it's any policy, not saying it's about the government shutdown, not saying anything. So what happens when we don't have news? We speculate. Mary, thank you for a great phone call. Appreciate you. Bill, not too far away from you in Indiana. Bill, how are you today?
Hello.
Hello, Bill.
Steve, I watch you every day when I can see you, but I don't know how to get a hold of you on the radio. The other thing is, I agree with that woman. I had a premonition. Trump should not go over there.
It's a spooky feeling, isn't it?
It sure is.
Yeah, it's a spooky feeling. And I was thinking about when she was talking to me.
That puts him in range. Yeah, that puts him in range of a lot of stuff.
It sure does. When she was telling me that, and you just made me think about it again, it made me think, if President Trump dies, how many disgusting individuals would be all over social media dancing and celebrating. And I'm not talking about our foreign enemies. I'm talking about people right here in the streets of the United States would be dancing and celebrating the death of Donald Trump. And then I thought to myself, go ahead, celebrate that if it happens. Careful what you wish for. I don't think President J.D. Vance is going to be their favorite either. Just for the record, we got a hell of a backup plan. So careful what you wish for. We got a hell of a backup plan. Thank you for the call, Bill. I appreciate you. Joe, good morning in Florida. How is Florida today? Joe?
Joe's gone.
Really quick, Steve, I'm going to chime in. That last guest said he didn't know where to find you when you're not on Rav.
Oh.
And Steve can be found on YouTube and Twitter.
YouTube, X, we used to call it Twitter. Facebook, too, by the way. If you're old school, you can find me on Facebook live right now. It's the YouTube crowd. Pretty fun crowd over there. Getter, don't forget Getter.
And Rumble.
And Rumble. I mean, we're bad. We're nationwide, as ZZ Top used to say. Let's see. I got Jeff in Kansas. Jeff, are you there?
I am here.
Excellent.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm gonna be building a net zero house in the spring, and I need solar to tap that off, and the credits end at the end of this year, and I don't understand why Trump is killing those or not extending those, because with that credit, I can afford to buy the solar package to literally make me basically I don't have to use the grid if I do that. So what have you heard about that?
I believe that's true. You know, I've got a program here that we do with Well Connect. It's a geothermal company that uses the well in your yard to create a geothermal system. They're a partner of ours here, and they have money coming back from the government as well until the end of the year. If you want geothermal, now is the time. WellConnectGeo.com. You can find out more. But you're exactly right, Joe. They're taking away some of those credits. I don't know what the total bottom line is, if the credits go to zero, if they're phased out. I'm not sure about that. I don't have solar, but well worth reviewing. And if you want solar panels or WellConnect geothermal, do it now. Get the solar panel. If you get the solar panels ordered, you're in business. If you get the WellConnect geothermal system, you're in business. You got to beat the deadline. It's a great question. Thank you, Joe. Excuse me, Jeff. All right, let's get to Tim in Michigan. Tim, how are you?
Good. How are you, Steve?
I'm lovely.
Oh, it's great to hear. Hey, I just got a question, or maybe you can help me out here. I've been noticing for for about a year or so, the chemtrails have been really heavy around my area, going east to west.
All right.
And I noticed here in the last week since they shut the government down, I haven't seen a one.
Oh.
And
where do you live in Michigan?
I hope they right here on 46, close to Saginaw and Vassar.
All right, thumb area.
And I know
for people outside of
south
Michigan, he's in the general thumb area of Michigan. He's in the thumb. I don't know. Let's get some people to weigh in. By the way, you can send me an email. Thank you for the phone call. Go to SteveGruber.com.
Maybe it could be coming from.
Go ahead.
Do you think it could be coming out of Canada?
I haven't any idea. I don't know. But here's what I would say. I want other people around the country that are listening right now to weigh in on that. I don't pay much attention to those things because I don't have time to get bogged down with it. But for other folks, they pay a lot of attention to it, as do you. So here's what I want. Go to SteveGruber.com. Send me an email. Here's what I'm seeing in Kansas and Maine and Florida and California or wherever you live, right? Free speech, free for all Friday. I love doing this because it's my chance to talk to you. I don't think anybody does this anymore. Rush Limbaugh did this. Called it Open Line Fridays, right? Open Line Fridays. That's what we do, this in the spirit of Rush Limbaugh. And maybe in the spirit of Charlie Kirk, too. Taking phone calls to hear from you. Fridays. And we're going to do it for the next 3 hours, all right? I've got something I want to share with you after the break. A really important breakthrough about being healthy and really taking care of yourself. We'll talk about it in just a moment here on the Steve Gruber Show. continuing the conversation. Now, if you've ever felt like your vitamins don't do much, you're not alone. And if you've ever felt like your wife wants you to be healthier, you're not alone. My wife, Ivy, has been very persistent and consistent in making sure I'm healthy. And she found these great new vitamins. You've heard us talking about them recently. Victory Nutrition International. Ivy's with me. Ivy, good morning. And we also have Jeff Hooks here from VNI. Jeff, nice to see you today.
Nice to see you both. Good morning. Thank you,
All
Steve.
right, so Ivy was doing some research. She found your company. She said, my God, I think these are the best vitamins I've ever found. And they've got all this scientific backing and all of this support material. Just 6 products, Victory Nutrition International. You developed this line of products to actually get nutrition into your cells, not just into your stomach. So tell me about it today. VNI, how did it start, and why are your supplements different?
My pleasure, Steve. So V&I started, our founder is a biochemist, researcher, formulator in the nutraceutical space. And he had a vision for a different kind of company. So the vision turned into the launch of V&I 11 and a half years ago. We actually soft launched in 2013 and officially launched January of 2014. And the vision was to come out with a line of proprietary premium multi-ingredient products that were very unique. And the 4 pillars, Steve, of the V&I product line is, number one, all our formulations are proprietary. And that's very unique in the nutraceutical space. Most formulas, even the good ones, are a situation where the founders or the executives will go to a contract manufacturer and they'll say, hey, we want a product for immune health, or we want a product for brain health and focus, or a post-workout product, et cetera. And that contract manufacturer will pull out the recipe book and basically take a formula that 400 other companies have, and they might change 1 or 2 ingredients, and then they'll launch with that product. Now, that's not to say that product doesn't have value, but our vision, to your question, Steve, is we wanted unique proprietary formulas that were designed to have a foundational impact on people's health. And so real quickly, I'm not a scientist, I'm a businessman. I commercialize these products that our brilliant science team has created. But the initial vision was to create a line of products that restore the body's ability to use oxygen and water to make energy, maintain energy, and eliminate waste. That's metabolism.
Yeah.
And so that's what we created. And as you said, we've got 6 products that are making an impact in the marketplace today, with many more in the pipeline.
Well, that's good. And Ivy, I bring you into the conversation because you do a lot of research. You look at all these things. You look at all sorts of health products. And, she's trying to keep me alive. I appreciate that. But you were really taken by this product.
Well, not only do I go and research products, but I also try products. And I've tried a lot of different products throughout the years. And one of the things that I can tell you from using these VNI products is that immediately, within the first week of taking them, I really notice a significant difference in my energy level and just my overall how I feel every day. And I just knew, I'm like, Steve, I love these products. I want to own these products. I think this should be a part of our daily life. And actually, I do the Perform Light and the Protovite every day in my water. I mix them both, shake it up. It's delicious. And I just really feel excellent. And knowing that these products do have a scientific backing is just, not only do I feel like that's wonderful, but I also feel it in my everyday life. And so our son takes this for his, during football and things like that. You take the Performalite and the Providite, my apologies, every day, and it's just so excellent. So yeah, I highly, highly, highly recommend these products.
So Jeff, as you can imagine, once Ivy said, I feel better, I like this, we need to find these folks. Jeff, that's when your phone rang. We said, look, Protovite, Brain Reward, Trim Rocks, you only have 6 products. You don't have 100 things for everybody. You've got 6 products. Let's run through them real quick. We got about a minute and a half here. I want to make sure that people understand what's available.
Absolutely, yes. So I'm very grateful for Ivy's research and for the initial introduction and conversation we had. And so we've got foundational products. The first product you heard Ivy mentioned, Protovite. We've got 2 different delivery systems for Protovite. We've got a liquid delivery system and then the single-serve stick pack that she shared. That's a foundational cellular health product. One of our clinical studies shows that iron-free Protovite restores hemoglobin to red blood cells. So that oxygenates the hemoglobin is what oxygenates the blood. So this is a foundational product. You heard Ivy. She also showed you the Perform Light. That's our hydration product, which has the key electrolytes, but it also has a combination of what we call the recovery blend, which is 30 fruits and vegetable extracts. That's an impact product. Great results with that product. We've got a product called Trim Rocks, which is our newest product member of the family here. It's designed to boost cellular energy, burn stubborn fat, and balance the body systems, especially cortisol, in a unique delivery system that we licensed from a popping candy company, which I think most of you probably know what that is. That's an impact product. We've got a product called Enzorb that is a metabolic enzyme product. The quip on that is that none of us are eating enough raw fruits and vegetables, so we're deplenished on enzymes. Our body needs enzymes for every bodily function, including blinking, and so this is a way of restoring those enzyme reserves. And Steve, as you and I talked just a few minutes ago before we went live, we have a clinical study on Enzorb that all of our clinical participants showed a boosted immune system and better sleep.
Right.
And then finally, we've got our Brain Reward product, which is a cognition and focus product, great for people, like me, battling with too much information in little time.
Yeah. And Jeff, we're going to talk about these products a lot going forward, but I just want to say again, folks, Ivy found the product. She did the research. We've been talking to Jeff for a while. It's all backed up by research and studies, Protovite, Brain Reward, Trim Rocks, all of them. And we've got a special offer for you here today. VNI.life/Gruber. You can save 20% right now. If Ivy says it's good and I'm taking it and I feel better and she feels better, it's working for everybody. Jeff, thank you for being here today. We will talk to you more in the future as we continue to introduce people to VNI, Victory Nutrition International. Again, VNI.life/Gruber, 20% off right now on your first order. Jeff, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Steve. And Ivy, thank you.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a break and be right back. VNI.life/Gruber. Get yours right now. All right, back to it now. We do this for 3 hours every Friday, Free for All Friday. Get as many calls as we can from all over the country. And as Anthony was saying earlier, we're on X, we're on Getter, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Rumble, we're live everywhere you can imagine. You can also go to stevegruber.com and listen live on an audio stream. We've got you covered every way we possibly can think of. Let's go to Dan in Michigan. Dan, how are you today?
I'm fine, Steve. How are you?
I'm lovely. What's on your mind?
Okay, so what's on my mind, I got to point out a glaring piece of hypocrisy here, and it hasn't really been covered by the news. So we're all been watching this whole TikTok debacle where, you know, we're forcing the sale because of ties and ownership to the CCP. And at the same time, the government's announcing a 10% stake they've taken in Intel. They just announced another stake in a mining company. How are we not going down the same road as the CCP, and how is this not the most hypocritical thing I've ever seen?
Now, that's a fair question you ask, and a real question. Why do we have stakes in these companies? Has the United States, is it investment? Is it a good idea for the future? Or is it central control, central planning? I think that's a great question, Dan. Does it concern you?
There is a whole host of issues that come with that, Steve. We already have an insider trading problem. All of Congress is doing it. What happens when one of these companies has a financial problem? Do we buy more stock to save them?
It's a good question you ask.
We could go on and on about the repercussions from this, but I just see this as a glaring piece.
Yeah, well, having said that, and I appreciate the phone call. Having said that, if we can get the United States government to have its portfolio perform the way Nancy Pelosi's does with insider trading, maybe we would have no debt. Maybe we'd have a $37 trillion surplus. I mean, let's just get Nancy's plan to figure out how we get rich around here. Free speech, Free for All Friday, brought to you by the Patriot Mobile Common Sense Hotline, 877-310-9966. 2 more hours of this. What is on your mind today? What about peace in Gaza? What about Letitia James? More to come. make you look around and say, hey, you know what? I live in a pretty great country. President Trump is calm, on point, on his game. And unlike the last guy, he is competent and coherent. Come on, man. We're not bending the knee anymore. We're here to take a stand for God and country.
This is the Steve Gruber Show.
All right, welcome to it. It is the Steve Gruber Show on a Free Speech, Free for All Friday. We got a lot to cover here today. We'll be taking your phone calls for the next 2 hours. We'll get to that, but here are three big things you need to know this hour. Number one, the Israeli cabinet has accepted Donald Trump's 20-point peace plan. It's going to happen. The Israelis are going to pull back. The hostages are expected to be released. The ones that are alive, which we anticipate is 20 on Monday. Number two, President Trump met with Finland's president, announcing a deal to purchase icebreakers. They'll build 4, we'll build 7, controlling the Arctic to keep the Russians and the Chinese at bay. That's the point here. And number three, we're watching this, this situation at the White House because it's so vague, and so I want to keep an eye on it. I don't know that it's anything to be concerned about or not, but here's what I know. The president is going to Walter Reed Medical Center at 10 a.m. When he leaves, it'll be open press. Then the First Lady is making an announcement at 11 o'clock in the grand foyer of the White House. We don't know what that's about. The president then arrives back at the White House 3 o'clock, 5 hours after he went to Walter Reed. And then at 5 o'clock, the president has an announcement. We have no idea what that's about. I'm a bit concerned. I'm just going to tell you. All right, let's get to the phone lines. Eddie, you're in Texas on a Free for All Friday. How are you?
Pretty good, Steve. I've got a question for you, and maybe you can answer it for me.
All right, sir.
With all these judges we got, these liberal judges that are just taking our Constitution and spitting on it, DAs, and some of the police, like up there in Portland, Oregon, how in the world can we actually support the police like a lot of us do? We're all law-abiding citizens. But you see a policeman on the road and you wonder, well, is he one of the crooked ones or not?
Well,
and I'm down here around pretty close to the border.
Yeah.
And I have seen some pretty crooked cops down in that area. I was a truck driver 40 years, so I've seen a lot of crooked ones.
Well, here's what I would say about that, Eddie. Yeah, here's what I would say about that. For example, we were told that the Chicago PD was not helping out the federal officers. We now know from the 911, the dispatch conversations, those police were told to stand down. In Portland, Oregon, more of the same, told to stand down. So it's not the police, it's the instructions coming from City Hall in these places that I think is a real concern. Same thing, look, you've got the mayor of Chicago saying he will stand to fight, the ICE officers. Really? You're leading an uprising in Chicago against federal law enforcement? Give me a break. So I
know. I've seen that on TV. Yeah.
Yeah, my money is still on the police officers, Eddie. I got to be honest with you. Are there crooked cops? Sure there are.
Well, it's like this, Steve. If your boss tells you jump off the roof on your head, are you going to do it? Why can't some of these police say, hey, you know what, that's wrong?
Because they'll lose their jobs.
We took them off.
But they have jobs and families, Eddie, and they'll just get fired and they have to go through a process and they have bills to pay. There's economic pressure, there's emotional pressure, there's moral pressure. It's not easy being a cop today, getting spit on, getting the finger, being targeted. I'm deferring to the police. Right, I'm gonna trust in God and the cops and hope that they do the right thing. Great call, though, Eddie. Thank you for asking the questions. All right, let's go to Joe. He is in Florida today. Joe, how are you?
Good morning, Steve. How are you today?
Good.
I'm kind of concerned about what's going on in New York. Hoping that New York gets it together because inevitably, if Mamdani, the commie, gets elected, St. Patrick's Cathedral will inevitably burn to the ground probably within weeks.
What will burn?
St. Patrick's Cathedral, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of churches being burned around this country.
I don't know if anybody thought about that.
No, never occurred to me. I'm not Catholic, but I do appreciate your point because we're seeing Christian churches. Look, what's going on in places in Africa. There are actual genocides going on. Nobody says much about it, so that's a concern, Joe. It's a great question. I hope that New York is smart enough not to make that colossal error, but at this point, I don't know who's voting in New York. Neither do you. Neither do they. I don't know how it plays out. It's a mess, Joe. Thank you for the call. That's why Donald Trump's trying to fix these things, doing his level best to fix Portland. He's in Memphis. We're in D.C. We're everywhere. All right, let's go to Buddy in Michigan. Buddy, how are you?
Hey, Steve. How's it going?
Good. Where are you?
I'm on I-94.
All right, rolling.
So,
all right.
Calling this morning to see if you'd heard about the new $1,700 federal tax credit for donations to scholarship fund. I haven't heard much about it.
$1,700. I have no idea what that is. $1,700 donation to a scholarship fund?
Yeah, it was part of the big beautiful bill. From what I can tell, it's if you give $1,700 to a K-12 scholarship fund for like a Catholic school,
yeah,
you get $1,700 extra dollars on your tax refund.
All right, I'm going to look that up. I'm going to put AI to work here for me. Put AI to work for here, and I hope to get an answer for you here, Joe, in a moment. I guess that's for private schools. Is that what you're telling me?
He's gone.
All right, he's gone. Anyhow, well, I'll look into that. It's Buddy, excuse me. It was Buddy in Michigan. Rolling down I-94. All right, let's continue on. Lisa is in Tennessee. Lisa, what is your thought today? What is your question? What's on your mind?
Well, I think my question has been answered. I woke up, unfortunately, and picked up the phone instead of the Bible. I usually start my day that way. And I had seen that President Trump did not get the Nobel Peace Prize, but a woman in Venezuela. I got that from Citizens Free Press.
That's correct.
And I kind of wanted to see how you, excuse me, felt about that. And while I was watching your show on Real America's Voice, I seen your wife, and I think y'all were a beautiful couple.
Thank you.
That you are just playing along with God's plan, and you have children now. I'm a grandmother, and let me tell you, the day you hold that grandbaby, there's just nothing like it, because you get to love it all you want to, and then you need to give it back when the work has to be done.
After I feed it, a couple of candy bars and get them all wound up, and then send them home to mom and dad.
Oh yeah, and get them something. When you get the toys, make sure it makes a lot of noise.
Absolutely, like those police cars that make a tremendous amount of noise. There was this one that my sister-in-law kept giving to us. She thought it was cute. When my son was younger, it was this monster truck thing that made all this gravedigger, made all this terrible noise. We gifted it back to her just to teach her a lesson. Anyhow, Lisa, thank you for the call. Greatly appreciated. I do. By the way, in stopping crime, there have been a total of 13 homicides in Washington, D.C. since the 11th of August, when Donald Trump put in the National Guard. 13. That equates to less than 70 homicides a year. Lowest rate of our lifetimes. Trust me. Law and Order works. When I come back, Michael Dougherty's going to be here. He hasn't been here in a while. You're going to like Michael D. He's got an opinion on everything, including you, potentially. I'll be back. Well, welcome back to the program, man. I love when people my age, my age bracket, try to wrestle with technology. I dig it. I do. And, Michael Doherty, my next guest, has been a regular on this program for 12 or 14 years. We still can't figure out technology a good part of the time. He's over there wrestling with his iPad, trying to figure out how to make it work and look good. Michael, good morning. Look at there. There he is.
For yourself. Speak
What's
for
that?
Yourself.
Yeah,
Speak for yourself.
You look great. Yeah, you look great. All right. There's so much. I mean, you asked when we asked you to come on, can I come on for an hour? Sure. But you can't use foul language because there's a lot to talk about. All right, let's go to the first thing. A lot of people upset today. Donald Trump did not get the Nobel Peace Prize. But in fairness, the nomination deadline is January the 31st. So, he hadn't stopped any of these wars by the 31st of January. So, okay, maybe he wasn't nominated by then. And then you've got the big news yesterday. Letitia James, one of your heroes, gets indicted by a grand jury. Isn't it, I got to ask you, isn't it fun to watch the left go crazy? Donald Trump is doing this and this. It's a grand jury. Do people understand how the grand jury system works? It's not Donald Trump. It's a grand jury in Virginia, right? So there must be something. Anyhow.
My favorite thing about that is, especially specifically, it's like, maybe it's not a good idea to run that you're going to put someone in jail when you have no access to facts or any investigation. Maybe that's your first clue that it might be, I don't know, premeditated.
Yeah. She's the one that targeted Trump. And by the way, a month ago, most of her case against Trump that she allegedly won got thrown out. Right. So it was a garbage case, right? And
She's
then
got Fannie Willis and her right now are like at the Waffle House just moaning in their martinis. Like, can't believe this happened to us. I can't believe it. I can't. It's racist.
Yeah. And meanwhile, inside the home of James Comey, he's walking down the Hall of Fame, polishing his own pictures. The world's tallest Boy Scout, also indicted by a grand jury, not by, Donald Trump is targeting his political opponents. Well, there may be some truth to that. He's saying, look at these people. They treated me this way. They lied to me. James Comey was dirty as the day is long. He came in there and told Trump about some Russia investigation, didn't tell him it was paid for by Hillary Clinton, didn't tell him the Steele dossier was unreliable. Just said, oh, you're being investigated for these things. Really? These people are garbage.
He's terrible at splitting the baby. If you recall, when he did that, all the Hillary people are mad at him, and they're blaming him for Donald Trump winning. So, the guy, that crowd turns on its own in milliseconds, but it really is squealing pigs and so much over drama. But then if they really think they're busted, we will get a wave of silence, because that's where they go to next. Like this lieutenant governor in Virginia who is saying, oh, let's murder. No one's talking about that in the media.
Not just murder the guy, but murder his kids too.
Right. Oh, the kids. Yeah. But that's so. I don't know if anyone saw Winston Sears just skewer the. You should go on YouTube and look for that 60-second debate piece where she just microwaves her. That woman is phenomenal. And the GOP, by the way, as a side note, has got to get out of the way and support someone like this woman, Winston Sears, because she is the real deal. As long as they just allow her. As long as they just allow her to be herself, she is stratospheric.
You stop relying on polls and focus groups and consultants. How about trust your political gut? How about that?
Take the Karl Rove whiteboard and melt it with your marshmallows and chocolate over the fire, because that's what we get. We get the rhinos.
Yeah, Jay Jones is the guy in Virginia who said all those terrible things. But you sit here and you watch Donald Trump having success close the border. Democrats hate him for it. He has success. He goes into Washington, D.C. I just checked, 13 murders since the 11th of August. It's the middle of October. They haven't seen a murder rate that low in Washington, D.C. in my lifetime or yours, Doherty. It's remarkable, isn't it?
And who's happy about that? Black people that were being murdered.
Yeah.
The 80-year-old black woman who now gets to walk down to the store. That's who's happy.
Without having to deal with the drug dealers and the gangs and the people trying to rob her every single day. She doesn't have to hide in her apartment, right? And now they've gone into Memphis.
All the Democratic constituents are upset. The drug dealers, the criminals, they're so mad. They voted for Biden. What the hell?
So what is the biggest thing on your list as you look at the the playing field today? What's your biggest thing out there as we go forward today?
The rest, the big team. I mean, accountability, Clapper, that whole crowd. I mean, these people. I mean, the big picture here is the American public has got to see this is not an eye for an eye. That we did not throw the first punch, and that lay all the facts out and let all the facts out. That's the first thing the government doesn't want is all the facts out. So we get the facts out, and then watch the silence of the mainstream media, and these bigger people have to go. I mean, Comey is not the head of the snake, right? I mean, he's just the beginning, and that's got. But you watch the tentacles of interaction. Like you watch Fannie Willis. If that evidence comes out, she's working with the Biden administration. So these things have to, and then then we'll see how crazy Gavin Newsom gets. These people will still jump the shark, and they will never admit anything.
Yeah, crazy Gavin Newsom is. How about Katie Porter?
Oh.
How about this is the best you've got in a state of 40 million people? This is the person you're putting up there?
Right. SNL has got several openings, and I think we've got a job for her because this is where she belongs. She's you can't get more entertaining than her when she goes off. It's crazy.
She's like the nutty. She's like the nutty housekeeper on a Monty Python film. It's.
I mean, she should monetize the YouTube because for the next 10 years she won't have to work again. She'll just keep that's going to get so many hits. It's going to be great. I mean,
it's remarkable.
Keep being yourself. Just get out of
exactly. All right, so here's the deal. Next time you're back, we're keeping you for. Well, maybe we do keep you for an hour because we got so much to talk about. I mean, if you're Adam Schiff today, I'd get an attorney. You were the third guy named. He said, Letitia James. James Comey and Adam Schiff are the ones that Trump named. Adam, get an attorney or a lot of them. You're going to need them. D, appreciate you.
Maybe Kamala Harris.
Maybe.
Play back what she did to Kavanaugh. I mean, these people.
Absolutely.
The judge that gave the murderer 8 years. I mean,
gotta run.
All right.
All right, so I was watching social media yesterday. I caught this clip from Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson, Hall of Fame running back, National Football League, saying having Bad Bunny is just he just ripped on it. Here's a guy who hates America. He said, if you hate America, why are you here? Why is he performing at the NFL? He goes, NFL is more crooked than the government, said Eric Dickerson. I don't know if you caught that, Brock. Kind of interesting.
I did hear that, yes.
Yeah, he has no love for the National Football League where he was a superstar. All right, so here's my Super Bowl prediction. First of all, Bad Bunny will be the lowest rated halftime show. TPUSA is doing as was begged for. Turning Point USA is running an alternative halftime show for the Super Bowl. I don't know who's going to be performing, but I've seen the notifications go out, and so there you go. And so that'll be a big thing. My prediction, Brock, I want you to weigh in on this for the Super Bowl. The Colts and the Lions.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
I hope you're right. The Colts. Okay. All right. That's a little bit of a stretch, but okay.
Well, they're kind of playing lights out at the moment. They're doing all right.
So far, so good. You know who would have been a better choice for the NFL wants Taylor Swift, but she's turned him down a couple of times. How about Metallica?
Yeah, how about Metallica?
Metallica.
Love it. You know, how about, you know, I'd roll out
Where is
AC/DC in
Super Bowl-
wheelchairs.
Isn't the Super Bowl in San Francisco or Santa Clara this year?
Something
They're
like that,
a San
yeah.
Francisco band.
Yeah. I love it. That's what. But we get some guy who hates America and sings everything in Spanish. Come on. I mean, I know Anthony's a big fan, but you know.
I have at least heard of Bad Bunny, and I think he was a WWE champion at one point.
Steve, you're into something this morning.
You're wound up, man.
Sleep deprivation, you know.
Well, there you go.
You drive all night to make sure that you know, as they say, the show must go on, and the show is on. Glad to have you here. The line is open, by the way, 877-310-9966. We got plenty of room to get you in if you got an opinion.
Steve, the Super Bowl is in Santa Clara. Why not Metallica?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm for Metallica. Sandman, all that great stuff. Absolutely.
They're a San Francisco band. Come on, NFL. You can do better.
Yeah, certainly. It's like they do it just to irritate their fans. Anyhow, take a break. Greatly appreciate it. When we come back, Congressman Tim Walberg.
Three, 4, 5.
All right, here we are. A lot of folks are upset, to say the least, about the Nobel Peace Prize going to a woman in Venezuela. She's like the resistance leader or opposition leader, I suppose. But here's, just so we're fair about this, the nominations were due on the 31st of January. So if you're mad that Donald Trump didn't get it, there is the possibility he could get it next year. I don't hold out hope for that, but clearly with the deal in Gaza, he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. Join me, Congressman Tim Walberg from Michigan's 5th Congressional District. Congressman, how are you?
I'm doing well, and the Nobel Peace Prize, for years we've wondered what in the world it means anyway, with some of the people they select. So I'm not too worried that Donald Trump hasn't received it. It might be a black mark on him in the end. So we'll see if they can get things right sometimes. But some of the people they have selected for Nobel Peace Prize, including Barack Obama in his first year as president, having done nothing. I mean, that says a lot about the Norwegians and their Peace Prize.
Right. I agree with that. So I want to ask you about something, because I'm concerned about the daily guidance from the White House, which I get every day. For everybody that knows, I have a hard pass to the White House. I'm able to go there, and I'm getting a hard pass for Congress too here in the next couple of days, so I can come see you anytime I want when you're in session. The president is going to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center today, Walter Reed National Hospital, at 10 a.m. He had his full physical April the 11th, so it's a bit concerning. At 11 a.m., there's an announcement from the First Lady. That's all it says in the Grand Foyer. Nothing more about it. The president returns to the White House 5 hours later at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then he has an announcement at 5. Any insight here, Congressman?
Well, they're probably checking why his Energizer bunny battery hadn't run out yet. That's probably. I mean, this guy keeps up a schedule that neither you or I probably could keep up as long as he has, and so we hope it's nothing significant. But every indication shows that this president is on, and he is Donald Trump, and so there's a uniqueness about him. But I mean, the energy that he exudes, the passion for all sorts of subjects. If you keep track of what he's doing, he changes track multiple times during the day, issues, subjects, people, and keeps up with it all. And then is on the phone to the Speaker of the House, for instance, offering another idea or suggestion or checking out on something that's not even involved with the rest of the things that the public sees him involved in the day. So it's amazing.
All right, so we'll see what. Obviously, we're keeping an eye on that. We'll see how that plays out today. Meanwhile, the Gaza deal. I don't think there's another president in my lifetime that could have pulled this deal off. I don't know if there's another politician on the planet. He marshaled all the Arab nations, got them to get together, basically told Benjamin Netanyahu, we need to do this deal, kind of cornered him, forced this deal to happen. Monday, the hostages, whichever ones are alive, we believe it's about 20, to be released. Israel pulls back to a predetermined line in Gaza is step one. It's a remarkable accomplishment, isn't it?
It is remarkable, but think what took place in his first term with the Abraham Accords.
Absolutely.
Bringing all those region countries together while he brought our embassy where it should be, to Jerusalem. All of that was done. And that was the groundwork that was laid. It was squandered during the 4 years that he was out of office. And that's what allowed Iran to build itself up again and really help its allies, including Hamas and Hezbollah and others in the region. But now he's taken control again, used that power that he gained from getting the regional countries together, and ultimately worked out this deal. We're guardedly optimistic. We never trust Hamas for anything that they say, but in the 72-hour guideline, we hope that we will see, first of all, those 20 hostages. I trust we have at least 20 still alive that will come out and get on with life and the rest of the negotiation that goes on to make the deal something that's lasting.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so on to the government shutdown. I give, by the way, the Speaker of the House. However, I give the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, great credit. He got on C-SPAN yesterday and took calls, some of them hostile, from people around the country. That takes guts to go out there and just answer questions. You don't know what's coming at you. You're fielding whatever's coming. to talk about the shutdown, to talk about what's going on, to talk about whether different people in the military and so forth are going to get paychecks and whatnot. I think I give him a lot of credit for that.
I do too. That's Mike Johnson. Mike's willing to take all comers, and he does it in a very diplomatic way, but a truthful way. And I trust that I didn't see that interview, but I trust that he made it very clear when people say, well, couldn't you just come together and pass one bill to fund the troops? And his response would be, I'm sure, we've done that already. On September 19th, we passed a bill to fund the troops. But now the Senate, including Senator Peters and Slotkin from Michigan, have voted 7 times to not fund the troops and not fund the air traffic controllers. I'll be at an airport today checking out with air traffic controllers what's going on, what they're feeling. So this is the Schumer shutdown. And then Schumer was recorded 2 days ago in a flip response about the strategy for the shutdown. And he said, and I read it so I don't mess up his quote.
Right.
He said, every day gets better for us. That's a political statement. He's saying every day of the shutdown gets better for us Democrats, not for Americans, not for the military, not for air traffic controllers, not for our law enforcement, not for our military families, but it gets better for us. That's what's happened. It's a political thing. And Steve, you probably know already that on 18th of this month, that's next week, there's a Marxist terrorist group holding a rally on the mall in Washington called the No Kings rally. And that tells me that there probably will not be a shutdown ended before that, because Schumer, who says every day gets better for us, doesn't want to stop that and have those radical terrorists, domestic terrorists, demonstrate at his office again like they did in March. So this is what's going on. We passed the bill. We kept government open. We kept things funded as it is right now. And yet Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, including Peters and Slotkin from Michigan, sadly, have voted 7 times to keep this government shut down and people hurt.
They sure have. Well, gives you a chance to enjoy a pure Michigan weekend, so you've got that going for you. Me as well. I'm going to head north and look at the fall colors. They're fully in bloom in places in northern Michigan. You should check it out. It's a great time of the year. Congressman, always nice to see you.
Good to be with you. Thanks so much. Enjoy your weekend.
You too, my friend.
Go Tigers. Go Tigers.
There you go. Tigers tonight, 8 o'clock, I think, as Brock said, first pitch. All right, thank you. Really appreciate it. What is the first pitch, Brock? 8:08, something like that?
You had it right, 8:08.
Yeah. Well, you have to give them time to get the setup in, get a couple of commercials in, and then throw the first pitch. I mean, let's be honest. It's about money, folks.
Well, of course it is.
Of course it is. All right. When we come back, we're going to catch up on some of the more interesting things that I found yesterday. We'll go from there. By the way, Donald Trump says he's getting his semi-annual physical now. Some recommend that when you get to a certain age. He's 79. I hope that's the truth. But what are these announcements from the First Lady? What was the announcement at 5 o'clock from the President? Very cryptic. We'll find out. right, so back by popular demand. And by the way, the Patriot Mobile Common Sense Hotline remains open this Friday, 877-310-9966. Please support Patriot Mobile, America's only Christian conservative wireless network. They are terrific. I've had them for years now, long since before they were actually a client. So that's good news, right? But back by popular demand, Katie Porter. She really looks like the crazy lady in a Monty Python skit. I mean, she does not look well. Anyhow, she's currently, and I don't know if this is going to last now because her campaign seems to be imploding over all these videos of her coming out. Here's one that Anthony particularly took affection to. Katie Porter's sitting doing an interview somewhere, like in a house somewhere. Maybe it's her house. I don't know. And one of her staff members steps in to correct something she had said wrong. She had said something factually wrong. She just goes, "Get out of my effing shot." Well, just here it is.
We did a study recently this fall in September, and what it showed is if we don't electrify our transportation sector, that we're going to lose more than 500,000 Californians dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems, and the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot. Okay, I'm going to start again with electric vehicles saving us money. Perfect.
This is the best the California Democrats have to offer a state of 40 million people.
And it was the staff was trying to help her
Yes,
too.
that's right. Trying to say, look, you said something factually wrong. You can't let that slide. And she just goes bananas and rips them. Just rips them. How unpleasant is that? Honestly, how unpleasant, right? Anyhow, so there you got that going on. Let's see here. What else we got? I got a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, this one popped up yesterday. And Anthony, I always thought this one. A guy is sitting on a Delta plane with a red hat on, as you can imagine. And the hat says, "Build back better my ass." That's what it says. And he said he gets escorted off a Delta flight and basically gets an interrogation from the pilot because he said, "Well, you were told to take the hat off." "I did." "Well, you put it back on." "Yeah, a lady asked to get a photograph of me." They took him off the plane because his hat was too offensive and dangerous, apparently. Listen.
I just want to make sure that everybody on my flight understands that safety is number one. And if we are in an emergency...
this is violating safety in any manner. We got serious problems with Delta. Because, I mean, this hat's just a hat.
You're taking this thing way out over here.
Well,
I'm
no,
trying to focus on safety.
you're saying you're worried about safety.
It is. If you can't, again, the appearance, okay? So you tell me to do something. Right?
I wouldn't tell you to. You're the captain.
No, I'm not. Just you and me talking. Okay. If you tell me to do something, and then I do it in front of you, and as soon as you turn your back, I do go back to what I was doing. Would you not be offended?
Well, but it's not a matter of being offended. If you was doing something that was, if I had the authority to tell you to do something, you could question. I'm not breaking no law.
I'm not saying you are. I'm an ultra conservative.
That'd be like coming up to me and saying,
I'm probably more ultra MAGA than you are. Okay. I'm just saying that right now. I got to make sure that
Donald Trump signed 2 of these for me across there. He thought it was hilarious. Everybody thinks it's hilarious. So somebody's got their panties in a wad over my hat, and I'm out here, a businessman, well recognized amongst all the high. I mean, I can call the president. I can call the governor on the phone right now, Georgia. That's people I know.
All right, so here's the deal. The pilot's saying, "I'm ultra MAGA." That whole clip is like 7 or 8 minutes long. I don't believe the pilot was ultra MAGA or any other thing of the sort. Delta just got pounded with nasty comments for its taking a guy off a plane because of his hat, a red hat. Kind of up the alley, like I said. People are going to get killed for wearing red hats in this country.
What did the hat say?
"Build back better my ass."
What is...
Taking a shot at Joe Biden. That was Joe Biden. Build back better.
Oh.
So, and apparently that was just too offensive for somebody on the airplane. Anyhow, there it is. Speaking of safety, the Chicago mayor, I mentioned this earlier, said he's going to lead the resistance against law enforcement. He's going to lead the resistance about lowering crime in Chicago. He will not stand for crime rates to be lower. He will not stand for people not getting murdered. He will not stand for people not being raped. Brandon Johnson is standing up for criminals. You know, they probably had a bad child life. They had a tough time growing up, and I will not stand for these people being disciplined and held accountable. Listen.
This is not about immigration. This is about a president who wants to enact authoritarianism in this country, where the rule of law doesn't apply to him and to one individual alone. And that's why I'm doing everything in my power to defend the people of this city and to lead a resistance that, quite frankly, is desperately needed to protect our democracy and our humanity.
The White House claims, this president claims, that it's the residents of this city that need protection from the federal.
Yeah, he's going to lead the resistance. Yeah, good luck with that. We've all heard this, and I want to share it with you one more time because it is the hot property right now, Mars. We've all heard studies, testosterone, half of what it was in men, young men, that according to the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. Men have half the metabolism today they had in 2000. 25 years later, half the testosterone. I mean, it's remarkable, right? So if you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, listen up. Meet Mars from the Wellness Company, a doctor-formulated nutraceutical designed to restore vitality without synthetic hormones or stimulants. Helps men to increase their testosterone, enhance circulation, improve strength, focus, and sexual performance. Yeah, it's all there. This isn't about masculinity. It's about health. Low testosterone affects energy, motivation, fertility, muscle mass, mood, your mind, and future generations. If you're looking for the gold standard and looking to boost your testosterone, Mars is here. All right, so check this out. twc.health/Gruber. You use that promo code Gruber, you'll save 10% and get free shipping. If your testosterone's low, here's a solution. twc.health/Gruber. Promo code Gruber, 10% off and free shipping. All right, let's check in on sports with Brock Palmbush.
With a look at sports, I'm Brock Palmbush. Rookie running back Cam Scatterbo rushed for 3 touchdowns, and rookie quarterback Jackson Dart threw for a touchdown score and rushed for another. And the New York Giants upset the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles 34-17 in New Jersey last night in NFL Thursday Night Football. With the win, the Giants moved to 2-4 on the year. With the loss, the Eagles fall to 4-2. In the Major League Baseball playoffs, the Los Angeles Dodgers eliminated the Philadelphia Phillies with a 2-1 victory in 11 innings in Game 4 of the National League Division Series. Phillies pitcher Orion Kerkering's throwing error in the 11th scored Hai-Song Kim with the winning run. Dodgers win the series 3-1. In the other National League Division Series, the Chicago Cubs forced a 5th and deciding game with a 6-0 shutout of the Milwaukee Brewers at Wrigley Field. Ian Happ, Michael Busch, and Kyle Tucker homered for the Cubbies. Game 5 tomorrow night in Milwaukee. That's a look at sports. Back to you, Steve.
All right, Brock, and the Tigers' 8:08 first pitch in Seattle, right?
That is correct. T-Mobile Park. Tarek Skubal for the Tigers, George Kirby for the M's.
I don't know Kirby. Tell me about him.
Well, their best pitcher, Brian Wu, is out for the season due to an injury, so I guess he's their next best starting pitcher. I've told you yesterday, you asked me, what do you think? I say, it's a coin flip. Even though Detroit's playing on the road in Seattle, you got Tarek Skubal, arguably the best pitcher in the world, going for you. So
yeah.
I think it's a coin flip, literally 50-50.
Well, unless those bats remain wide awake like they did the day before, right?
Oh, yeah, in the 5th and 6th inning.
Oh,
yeah,
good Lord.
It'd be nice to see them jump on Seattle early. That would help.
Well, and I think that they add a home run in the 7th as well. I mean, they just piled up the runs, and it was.
They tied it in the 5th, and then they took the lead in the 6th and expanded on it later on. Yeah, it was stunning, actually.
Well, and isn't that what they were doing early in the season?
Yeah, scoring a lot of runs early, and then most of the second half they were just got
Quiet.
off for a lot of time.
If those bats remain active, I feel pretty good about it. We'll see 8 o'clock tonight. You can check out the Tigers. Who are the Lions playing this weekend?
They are playing at the Kansas City Chiefs Sunday night.
Well, we like beating the Chiefs. That's good. All right, Brock, thank you for that. We love beating the Chiefs. Hour 3 coming up. I have a special surprise for you coming up after the break here on the Steve Gruber Show. Glad to have you along on a Free for All Friday. you look around and say, hey, you know what? I live in a pretty great country. President Trump is calm, on point, on his game. And unlike the last guy, he is competent and coherent. Come on, man. We're not bending the knee anymore. We're here to take a stand for God and country.
This is the Steve Gruber Show.
Yeah, it certainly is. Another hour on tap for you as we light the fuse. Well, that was interesting. The studio audience went mad for a moment. Anyhow, welcome to it here on a free-for-all Friday. It's whatever. Let's see, three big things this hour. Number one, Donald Trump does not win the Nobel Peace Prize. I'm not surprised. The nominations are due by the 31st of January, and so therefore, he was not nominated in time. Number two, Hamas has got just until Monday to release the hostages. Israel is pulling back. Israel is pulling back to its pre-designated spot. And number three, I got a little bad news for you, Brock. If Brock's still there.
What?
Sister Jean has died.
Yep, I saw that this morning at the age of 106.
106. She was the breakout star of the 2018 March Madness Final Four.
Yeah, the NCAA tournament, because Loyola of Chicago went to the Final Four for the first time in like half a century, and she was the team chaplain for the men's basketball team.
Yeah.
Got all the way to the Final Four, but lost to Michigan in the semifinals.
Well, at least it was Michigan that took them out. There you have it. All right.
106.
106. I had a neighbor at my northern compound that lived to be 106. Yeah, and she was living at home right until about a month or two before she took the next step in her journey. So there you go. All right, let's work through some things here. I've got a special surprise for you coming up here in just a few minutes. But right now, we're just kind of cleaning off all the stuff that is cluttered my desk here today. Letitia James, indicted by a Virginia grand jury yesterday for mortgage fraud and lying about where she lived and so forth. Apparently, you have to follow the rules. You can't say you live in a house as your primary residence when you get a mortgage. It's interesting because she questioned the business practices of Donald Trump. Most of her case against Trump thrown out about a month ago. All right. Letitia James, indicted by a grand jury. She doesn't understand how this works, apparently. Listen to this.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties.
Both parties. A little drama there. Well done, Tish. The drama. Okay, when I say she doesn't understand how this works, Donald Trump did not indict her. A grand jury did in liberal Virginia. So we'll let that one play out. James Comey's trial starts on January 5th. We'll look at that. Oh, here's something I mentioned earlier. I mentioned Eric Dickerson, Hall of Fame running back, superstar, great running back. Remember him running for Los Angeles. Says Bad Bunny should get the hell out of America. The guy that the NFL inexplicably has chosen for the halftime show of the Super Bowl. Eric Dickerson, guy catches up with him, asks him a few questions. Not impressed, apparently. Listen.
There's some stuff he said about the United States. So, I'm from the U.S. I love my country. And if you don't like the United States, get your ass out here. Don't come over here.
Do you think the NFL kind of puts this in place so people have conversations to make controversy? It seems like sometimes they might do that, right?
The NFL is crooked than the federal government. Way crooked than the federal government ever is. So, I know the NFL is. They don't care about their players.
So corruption from the top. No, I know.
Yeah. The NFL is more corrupt than government. Oh, okay. I can live with that. All right. Here, I put this in here. I wasn't sure I was going to use it. But Anthony, I want you to pay attention here. You might learn something here. Etiquette education for you today. I'm going to ask you this question again. How many transgender people did you know in high school? How many? Zero is the answer.
Yeah, 0.
Nobody knew anybody that was trans. Brock?
Yeah, 0.
0. Right? Anthony told us 0 yesterday.
Yeah, I think I caught the tail end of it. You could see people start,
Right, but you didn't know anybody that was transgender.
No.
You didn't know any dude that say, I'm a girl.
No.
So I can get in the locker room.
Maybe they have since I've graduated, but, not while I was in school in the early 90s.
No, not for me in the 80s, not for you in the 90s, not for Anthony in the 2000s. But anyhow, here is a grown man pretending to be a woman, lecturing us all on the use of pronouns. So pay attention, you might learn something.
My father still messes up my pronouns all the time, and not maliciously or for lack of trying. And I too occasionally misgender myself. Now what do you do if you happen to get someone's pronouns wrong? For a lot of people, it's actually worse to make an apology and ask for their forgiveness. Best thing you can do if you make a mistake is to quickly correct yourself and move on. And the thing that will help you get someone's pronouns consistently correct is to practice.
Anthony pointed out exactly the point that I was making. How do you misgender yourself? Have you ever misgendered yourself, Anthony? Did you ever wake up one day, look in the mirror, and go, hey, I'm a chick?
No.
That hasn't happened?
Not yet.
Not yet, but hey, he's young.
I thought it was funny that the channel or whatever media place had this was called Junkie.
Yeah. If you're misgendering yourself, it might all be bull. Wouldn't you say, Anthony? If you're misgendering yourself, it might just be a load of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, interesting. And I don't have time for that one. I'll hold that. I might play that one with my next special guest that's coming up. I've got a soundbite I will save for my special guest who is coming up, and it's a secret superstar guest, all right? Let's see here. What do you saw the V&I, Victory Nutrition International. What a great company they have turned out to be. Longevity. How about longevity? How about we do those, folks? Great. I had it again yesterday. I love this product. Longevity is a nutritional shake full of protein, colostrum. It's got stuff for your mind, heart, body. It's wonderful. If you're somebody who's trying to lose weight or losing weight, you don't want to lose muscle and bone, Longevity is a great product. Look, we've looked through it. It doesn't have any crappy dyes or added oils or nonsense. It's full nutrition. So if you're an older person, you want one of these really good products. It's being distributed by Cisco, so it's the real deal, right? If you're on a GLP-1, if you're doing that, really got to be careful about losing muscle and bone. Longevity.co, right? Longevity.co is the product you want. Longevity.co. Use the promo code Gruber. You'll get a chocolate, strawberry, vanilla. It's all really good. Check this out. You're going to love it. I'll be back. All right, here we go, diving back into it. Okay, so the special secret, super secret guest has to wait just a few more minutes because, you know, I don't want to get in the way of the best looking, most talented, most accomplished lawyer in the history of the world, Steve Doolin, who is here with us. And somehow there's a little bit of a hickey up, a giddy up in the run. Anyhow, Doolin, there you are. Look at that. Good. Look at that. His hair is perfect. He's like Elvis.
Now I'm going to sing a Warren Zevon song.
Is that a wham bada bop, a wham bam boom? Right, that's what I would do. All right, let's talk about this again, because here I am confused. I'm confused because I've got these people screaming that Donald Trump has weaponized the DOJ, which, of course, we saw the DOJ weaponized against Trump for years, and state efforts against him for years in places like New York. Attorney General Letitia James indicted by a grand jury for mortgage fraud. Now, I don't know how serious this crime or this situation is or how much money she made, but it's pretty clear she checked the wrong boxes. And a grand jury is not Donald Trump, is it? Can the president really direct the Department of Justice to go after somebody? I suppose they can. But it's still up to the grand jury, is it not?
Ultimately, it is. That's what a grand jury does. Prosecutor comes before grand jury. Grand jury weighs evidence and decides whether to indict. It was famously said several generations ago that a grand jury could indict a ham sandwich. And it seems that way sometimes, that grand juries are rubber stamps. It's a one-sided procedure. It's not a fully adversarial process like a trial. Like a petit jury, which means that, the jury that sits at a trial. Grand juries just listen to evidence presented and decide whether there's enough there to issue charges. And so it's a check and balance in the judicial process, in the system. The idea is that we were, as the founders, I wasn't around, decided that there should be some fairness in the system, and this jury system is the way to do it, so that you don't have an autocratic ruler simply pointing a finger and saying you're on trial and you're on trial, or having secret proceedings. So we have open and public proceedings that we can all look in on, and you can walk into courtrooms and just see what's happening to your fellow citizens. So what they're trying to make it sound like in a lot of these interviews, I noticed, is they're trying to make it sound like the old Star Chamber, where this shadowy process happens and people suddenly disappear. And that's been the implication now for quite a while, ever since Trump took office. And of course, it turns out that all the evidence points the other way, that actually the prosecution of President Trump, there was a lot of conspiracy going on in the background. There's enough evidence to say that pretty confidently now. And so they're acting like children, right? If you spoil children and then you suddenly impose the rules that were there all along but were being ignored, the children cry and scream because you're being mean. And that's what I hear every time I hear these arguments is, oh, you're being mean, you're enforcing the rules. Well, the rules are what they are. And it is kind of funny, you can take a little delight, I think, because as I recall, correct me if you remember differently, but when Letitia James was running for that office, she ran on, I'm going to get Donald Trump.
As I recall, that was her entire platform.
Right?
That was I'm going to get Donald Trump.
Before she had the job, before there was any evidence on her desk, because she didn't have the desk yet.
Yeah, so her whole deal was to target Donald Trump and weaponize her office against Donald Trump and his business interests in New York, which, by the way, about a month ago, almost that entire case, and she got, a lot of it pushed through, civil case. Almost all of it was thrown out. Almost entire. It was a garbage case. Almost all of it got tossed.
Yeah. Especially when you had the alleged victim saying, we're not victims.
Right. We made money. He paid it back because we're talking about big banks that do due diligence. They got paid back with interest in full.
Absolutely.
Where's the victim?
No, this is the way the real estate business goes. Until you sell a piece of real estate, any opinion of value is exactly that, an opinion.
Well, let me ask you this. If so, the banks lost nothing on the Trump transaction. But if you commit mortgage fraud, right, and the bank believes that you have a primary residence, which is your secondary residence, and they're supposed to get higher interest rates, the banks might have actually lost money on Tish James, right?
Well, they may or may not have actually lost money, but if there's proof of an affirmative lie, that is fraud, and the crime is complete at that point. It doesn't require a victim that lost money. If you lie on the form, I've met people who have been to real prison for just lying on forms. It happens.
Real prisons, eating real prison food and wearing real prison clothes. Yeah.
And no fancy jewelry or nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So if James Comey, the world's tallest Boy Scout, gets convicted, his trial starts January 5, right? And he clearly played dirty. He's admitted 100 different times that he, leaked stuff through his professor friend out to the New York Times and lied about it. That's a crime.
The evidence.
Yeah. And so if he gets convicted, is that Donald Trump weaponizing the system, or is that the system delivering justice? Last answer.
Well, when the shoe was on the other foot, the "no one is above the law" mantra was repeated over and over and over. And I just saw one online last night from Letitia James herself, saying that no one is above the law, and so good for the goose. It's true. No one is above the law, right? I mean, I'll say it right here because I'm not concerned that at some point you're going to be able to use it against me in the future when I'm suddenly indicted for doing something.
Right.
Because I simply haven't, right? So, no one is above the law, and there's a process.
Yeah. Be careful what boxes you check and what things you tell people on forms that you sign your name to. That's the takeaway. Do it. I got to run. Thank you, as always, my friend.
Great to see you.
Boop. We'll be back after this. All right, hold on. I want to play something for you here, and my special guest is coming in just a moment here. But I want to play something here because it seems some blowback for Marjorie Taylor Greene, who basically is blaming the Republicans for the government shutdown. It's politics, my friends, politics. I don't think this is going to go over well for those in the red hat community. Listen.
Just not staying focused on America First policies is detrimental as well.
Yeah, and on that note, are you concerned about the cost of living?
Very.
That the President Trump said he would lower?
The inflation crushed people in the past 4.5 years, and the costs have not come down. I myself can tell you my apartment here in Washington, D.C., the electricity bill is $100 more than it was last year, because you can look at your own bill and look at cost. Prices have not come down. That is a reality. People's wages have not gone up. That's another reality. And so Americans are continuing to have a very difficult time getting by. And I'll go a step further. I'm a mom. And so when it comes to what is affecting my adult children's lives, who are 22, 26, and 28, I'm going to be 1,000% fighting for them over any politician and any party. And I can tell you right now, that generation, they are barely making it, and they're very hopeless for their future.
Barely making it. All right, so I'm not sure how that is going to play out, because in effect she's criticizing Donald Trump's presidency. I mean, if costs are not coming down, then that's an issue. And if she's out there saying that, well, that creates an issue. All right? A big issue. All right, we'll see. For her. Not saying she's right or wrong, but for her. All right, we're going to take a break. Special guest after the break. You don't want to miss it here on the Steve Gruber Show. All right, as promised, special guest time here on the program. So important. I'm just push the computer away. Focus on what we're doing here. Why not? It's Free Speech, Free for All Friday. My next guest has comments on just about anything you can imagine. I know because I talk to her every day. Look, everybody, it's Ivy. Ivy Watch delivered. She's remote today because we had a bit of a snafu and had to, well, the show must go on as it is. Ivy, good morning.
Well, Steve, I need to give you a lot of credit because, I had some technical difficulties here in the studio that I'm in. And you're like, listen, I'll just drive back to the regular studio. I'm like, are you sure? That seems like a lot of wasted time. So give credit where credit's due. Way to go for getting back
middle of the
late,
night.
having
3
less
hours.
sleep.
Yeah. Lots of coffee today. 1775coffee.com for those of you scoring at home. Use the promo code Gruber. You'll love this coffee. There it is. Look at that nice mug. Show that to them again. Show them. Those are going to be available soon to everybody. The Steve Gruber Show deluxe coffee mug. Plus, we've got shirts, hats, hoodies. These people just take a little bit longer than we'd like. We've got it all coming, though. Merch, Gruber merch, and you can be part of it. Anyhow, Ivy, what's on your mind?
The Ivy Watch, Steve. The Ivy Watch. Her face on a watch. Could be like a Garmin-style watch or something. That's what the people want.
Give the people Ivy's face on a watch. The Ivy Watch. All right. Who's a buyer? All right.
My goodness.
All right. What's on your mind?
Brock suggested this to me before. I'm like, no one's going to buy that. Yeah. Anyhow, but
I lost her audio there for a second.
the dumbest,
Hold on. Oh, there you are.
The dumbest thing you've heard all week?
Oh, yeah. Let's have it.
What's the dumbest thing you've heard all week? I want to know.
Katie Porter. Pick any bite from Katie Porter of California, and I'm going to say that was the dumbest thing I heard all week. Just crazy, nutty stuff. What did you find?
Well, what's up with her? Going off on her staff. I heard you play that bite earlier. It's like, geez.
Could you imagine? Yeah, we went off on like that on our staff. They'd just say, I gotta go. Yeah.
Well, it's just so rude. I mean, the staff's trying to help her out, and she's like, "Get out of my shot! Get out of my effing shot!" Like,
yeah, she went bananas.
A little bit of a chill pill.
Yeah, she needed one of those. So do we have something we can share on Katie Porter? We got it. In fact, Anthony's got it. He loves this. He wanted to hear it earlier. But roll that again for anybody who's missed it, Anthony.
We did a study recently this fall in September, and what it showed is if we don't electrify our transportation sector, that we're going to lose more than 500,000 Californians dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems, and the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot. Okay, I'm going to start again with electric vehicle saving us money.
She's lovely. And the woman was in the background, was trying to help her say, what you said there is wrong. Correcting her so she doesn't look like a fool. As it turns out, she looks like just worse. Honestly, California has 40 million people.
Yeah.
At least half of which are legal to be there, and this is the best they can find. This is it.
I actually wonder the same thing about the state of Michigan because I'm not sure.
The Democrats, you mean?
We have a couple of peaches ourselves. But anyhow, you were asking earlier about, this thing with Trump. I know he's making a couple announcements, but, he said it himself. Anthony, if you want to play that bite with Trump on his physical there.
I'm meeting with the troops, and I'm also going to do a sort of semi-annual physical, which I do. And I think I'm in great shape, but I'll let you know. But I have no difficulty thus far. Is there wood around here? I'll knock on. No difficulty. Physically, I feel very good. Mentally, I feel very good. I did about 6-7 months ago. I do physicals. I like to, when I'm around, I like to check always early, always be early. It's a lesson for a lot of people. But I also did a cognitive exam, which is always very risky because if I didn't do well, you'd be the first to be blaring it. And I had a perfect score. And one of the doctors said he's almost never seen a perfect score. I had a perfect score. I got the highest score, and that made me feel good.
And I appreciate that. I do. His annual physical was April the 11th, right? But this announcement that was put out today, and I get this every day, of course, the daily guidance for what's going on, and Anthony had this on a screen earlier. The president goes to Walter Reed. He doesn't return for 5 hours, and then in between that, the First Lady, Melania, is making an announcement. That's all it says. Makes an announcement at 11 a.m. and at 5
I think that's
p.m.
what it generally says, though, doesn't it? When they make announcements, they say, making an announcement.
No, they'll say it's on the topic. Here's what we're talking about this. Same thing with Trump. Trump's making an announcement at 5 o'clock. About what? I don't know. About what? See, here's what happens, Ivy. If they don't give us details, we fill in the blank. I mean, that's what people do. Human nature, right? That's silly.
I guess, but still, let's not go to the doom and gloom. Although there have been some conspiracies out there that, Trump is really not alive and this is like some cyborg.
I can assure you, I've seen him in person. He's alive. That's not the case. He's doing fine. Well, what do you make of the, speaking of being alive, I know that he's not impressed with not getting the Nobel Peace Prize. But again, I'm going to caution folks to say, look, the Nobel Peace Prize deadline for nominations is January 31. So he hadn't stopped any of these wars by the 31st of January. Does he get it next year? Probably not. Because they hate it.
I mean, come on. It's completely political.
It is.
In my opinion. I don't think that they'll ever give it to him just because, they just don't think that he's deserving of it, even though he is. I mean, he was deserving of it during his first presidency with the Abraham Accords and the things that he had put together there. But, even Barack Obama, I don't know if you saw this, Anthony, if you want to put up that screen, the shot I sent you. And here it is. After 2 years of unimaginable loss and suffering for Israel families and the people of Gaza, we should all be encouraged and relieved that an end to the conflict is within sight. He goes on and he says all these positive things, but you know who he never mentions? He never mentions Trump here.
Of course not.
So he gives recognition.
You know why? Because he has no class. Barack Obama has no class. Because if he did, you'd say, I congratulate the Here's the thing. You mentioned this yesterday when you were on. When Barack Obama did something I agreed with, I said, you know what, I agree. I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but I agree with him on this. Barack Obama should have done the right thing and said, I commend Donald Trump, the President of the United States, for putting this deal together, for facilitating this peace deal in the Middle East. It's a big deal. But he can't, he is such a partisan hack. He can't bring himself to it. All right, hold that thought. We got to hit a break here. Ivy, for the rest of the show, she's gonna just surf it out with us today, which is cool. So we'll be back. Don't forget to follow us on all the social media platforms. Getter, Truth, YouTube, Rumble, X, all of them. Hit the like button, bam, and follow us. We'll be right back. All right, so I saw this article yesterday because whenever I would drink a Diet Coke, Ivy would give me the snot eye. Trust me, I get the side look, the snot eye.
Really?
Oh, come on now. Ivy really is pretty. I'm pretty good. I'm giving you a bit of a hard time, but really good about, hey, let's make sure we eat the right stuff and drink the right stuff and do the right things and take care of ourselves. That's why earlier we were with Victory Nutrition International, brand new vitamin company that you did the research on. You love them. They've got all these studies backing them. So this is just an example. But here's the headline. Major study of diet drinks raises questions about their health impact. Apparently, those who drink Diet Coke and things like that faced 60% higher risk of liver disease. Well, that's encouraging. A 60% higher incidence of liver disease. Anyhow, go ahead.
Well, it's the elements of the ingredients that are in Diet Coke, and so if you look at
what is in there? Does anybody actually know?
Aspartame, and then I don't have a Diet Coke sitting in front of me, so I can't name all the ingredients off to you. But my thought is, like, if you can't grow it from the earth and it is a man-made thing, you probably shouldn't.
Or at least, it doesn't mean it's bad, but you might want to rethink that. By the way, drinking soda at all, sweetened sodas also had an increase of people. Now we drink almost none.
Right, but it's that your body has to process all of these man-made things, and your body is like has to work overtime to do that. Yeah. So, I don't think. Listen,
here's something else.
I love sweets. Okay, I love baked goods. I think that if you can spend most of your time making those things that you want to eat, don't buy them pre-made. Then if you want cookies or if you want brownies or if you want these things, make them at home from scratch with great ingredients.
Let me give you three things.
I don't think you should deprive yourself of those things.
No, I agree. In fact, we've got a program we're going to start here. We'll share with the folks here in the next week or two or three. That'll focus on us getting, really buff, I guess. But let me give you three more things here. Zero sugar might be harmful, scientists think. It may have to do with how artificial sweeteners affect the body. They have been shown to alter gut bacteria, increase cravings for sweets, confuse the brain's hunger and fullness signals. Some research even suggests that diet drinks may still trigger insulin spikes, something usually blamed on sugar itself. I mean, this is a remarkable study.
So a lot of people focus on the sugar levels in their body, but something that has really gotten a lot of attention lately is the insulin levels in your body. And actually, you and I started having this conversation, which is, depending on what you eat, you want a lower glycemic index foods. If you're going to be having something like with a lot of carbohydrates, you should always have proteins because the proteins are going to reduce the amount of insulin that is injected so that your blood sugar remains steady. That's why, when a lot of kids these days, go to school, they wake up, they eat cereal, they put milk in it, which has a lot of sugar, then they
talk about that. We just saw the sample menu come from our local schools. Talk about what they were serving for breakfast.
Right. So free breakfast and free lunch. What they're offering for breakfast are assortment of different Pop-Tart flavors, or cereal and milk and fruit and grain.
All sugar.
The first thing I said when I looked at it is like, where's the protein?
None.
And this is the reality is like, listen, kids are kids, right? They're going to go for the Pop-Tarts. If mom and dad aren't around, they're going to say, hey, you need to eat properly. Or if that's the only choice they have, of course they're going to go for the Pop-Tarts, okay?
Yeah,
Kids
Pop-Tarts, cereal, grain, zero protein in the.
Right.
And look,
So
I know kids need to eat.
Insulin. It spikes their insulin. They can't concentrate. They're really
bouncing off the
edgy
walls
because they have so much energy from the sugar, and they don't have an outlet for that. Anyhow,
and then what happens? You have this you up the sugar, and then the crash.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel sorry for the teachers that have to deal with it. I feel sorry for the teachers. They got to deal with that because the kid's bouncing off the walls, and then he's passed out in his seat.
Right. Right.
Anyhow, I'm very disappointed in the local lunch menu. I think is the takeaway here. And then for lunch, it was more of the same. A lot of, at least a little bit of protein at lunch, but not much. Almost none. The food pyramid is garbage. More protein.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
can
it's-
take our salt away.
No, they cannot. They touch my salt, they're going to lose a finger.
Well, when I was in school, they took away our salt.
Well, that would explain a few things.
Michelle Obama did.
Was she there in person, walking around from table to table? I'll take your salt. I'll take your salt. I'll take your salt. She was
Fill in our
right there.
pockets. But they can still give us all the processed stuff.
Right, which has what in it? Salt. Anyhow.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's insane. In fact, I wanted to call the school and say, hi, I sent a message back. Where's the protein? Of course, they didn't respond. I mean, what is that? It's just garbage. Look.
Well, something else that I had just seen recently is, and this is why it's so important to read labels, is that your meat, a steak or ground beef, have natural flavors added to it, which natural flavors are not good for your
What are
gut
these
biome and they have
natural
to
flavors?
Right.
What are these
There
natural
could be 300 different compounds,
of
natural flavors.
Well, have you guys
Why do we
seen?
need to add flavors to our meat?
Have you guys seen too the whole thing about how they pump meats full of something to make it weigh more?
Oh,
or
yeah,
be more,
sure.
Yeah.
Like a saline type of thing. Well, here's the thing. Ivy and I talked about, we saw this years ago now. We've talked about it ever since. We were looking at meat products. We were looking at bacon, actually, in the store. And you pick up the bacon and you look at the added sugar. I don't need sugar in my bacon. All right? Bacon is, it's bizarre what they do. My friends, cook at home if you can. Find somebody like Ivy that can police the kitchen. She's like the kitchen cop. She has a whistle.
Well, not only
She
that,
has
read
handcuffs.
labels. Important. Read labels.
Yeah.
Learn what's good and what's bad. Use
Yeah, she has-
ChatGPT. Look it up.
Yeah, she has handcuffs. Well, at least it's Friday. At any rate, Ivy, love you. Thank you.
Love you too.
Back in a minute. All right, so while the world celebrates Donald Trump's ability to bring an end to the war in Gaza, and most people do, I just have to say, Candace Owen has gone off the deep end. She is basically out on social media accusing Donald Trump of being part and parcel to a genocide. And that's what he did. And then he wants to build hotels there, and he's part and parcel to a genocide of Palestinians, and that Palestine has been destroyed by Donald Trump. That's what I've just watched the clip. I just sent it to Ivy for her to look at. She's just divorced from reality. Did you ever look at Germany and its major cities after World War II? Hiroshima, Nagasaki after World War II. Unfortunately, when you attack someone, when you attack another nation and murder its people, the results for you can be far worse. How many millions of German civilians died in World War II that had nothing to do with the Nazi regime? How many Japanese people died in 2 single attacks that had nothing to do with the attack on Pearl Harbor or the Imperial War machine of Imperial Japan? Yes, Gaza has been destroyed, and that's because Hamas would not release its grip in many regards. So it's bizarre. I don't know that I'm going to mention her again because I think she's just so far afield. I want nothing to do with it. All right. And I think it's sad. She used to be somebody that I thought was interesting and worth listening to. No longer. Candace, sorry, hon, you're out. I'll leave it there for today. Fight the good fight and keep the faith. God bless America, my friends. This is the Steve Gruber Show. And remember, together we can save this country. We can. Work hard, be better. And there's a reason Candace was not invited to Charlie Kirk's memorial. Specifically not invited. You do the math. We'll talk soon.